loves. We are back yet again by the grace and mercy of God with another inspirational, motivational, edifying word from the Lord. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful to be able to give this word with confidence. Today we're talking about where God has us. Where God has his people. Where God has a lot of people that are coming out of this era of training. Because I'm going to say with God, we're always in training in preparation for something. So for those of us who are coming out of, I'm driving clearly as you can see, so we got to be safe. But we're coming out of this era of training. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I want to first talk about, I guess I'll hold it. I want to first talk about, I guess I don't have to be so loud now that I have it. Y'all, let me figure this out. What I'm going to do with this mic, child. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to clip it. Okay. So I want to first just speak about in my past, and also as a very recent, how that thought of mine that I'm about to speak on evolved. Pretty much so as a kid, growing up in my family, seeing my mom be so bold. My mom, first of all, my mom is a very bold woman. She is gonna speak what's on her mind, baby, whether anybody wants to hear it or not. Sometimes that seemed like a very good thing. Sometimes it didn't seem so good. Let's just be honest. So seeing that growing up with such a strong-willed woman, with a woman who spoke her mind, was bold, bold about everything that she stood on, baby. It's like, okay, you know how to, say what you gotta say and mean what you mean and mean what you say. So that's not even the factor here for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but it was really an issue for me as a kid growing up to speak my mind to certain family members because of the simple fact of a lot of the reaction that I saw my mom get, that I saw her get negatively from certain family members or just certain people in general. But I also saw her get so much respect for it as well. So, but in close proximity, it was always family responding negatively. So I kind of took that in as my own observation to not speak up. You know what I'm saying? To not speak up when it comes to the family. Or even when I did, in certain situations, it would be pushed to the side or counted as immature or as, me not wise. You know what I'm saying? Hello, my love. Welcome to the chat. So it's like, it kind of got repetitive so much so to where I just let it set in my spirit. Like, let me just bite my tongue so that people will like me. And so I carried that throughout my life. Whether it's biting my tongue so people will like me, biting my tongue so I can keep the peace, which was not peaceful for me because I was being hurt silently. You know what I'm saying? I was being, tormented by my own thoughts and having to sacrifice my own feelings in secret, in silence. And so that wasn't helping me at all. That was actually hindering and hurting me in my growth in so many areas. And so it wasn't until it's almost, it would be embarrassing to say if I was actually embarrassed, but for some people this might be embarrassing. But I am literally 31 years old, and it wasn't until a little bit before now that I really started to speak up even more. Like, I had no problem speaking up for people that I cared about. I had no problem. I don't know who can relate to this, but I had no problem speaking up for people that I cared about. I had no problem. If I'm loud, y'all, let me know if I'm too loud, because I do have this mic on today, so and I'm driving. It's very loud in the car. So let me know if I can tone it down a little bit, because I want y'all to be able to hear me, but I don't want to blow your eardrums too at the same time. So let me know my level of speaking if you can. But okay, so anyways, I'm somebody, I don't know if you can relate, that I can speak up. I was able to speak up for my loved ones, my friends, whatever, for any injustice that I saw that had something to do with somebody else. But when it came to me, I will always overthink it, over question it before I say something. I wouldn't always just not say anything, but majority of the time I would have to play the scenario out in my head, and I'm just like, well, that could escalate to this, and this person might feel this way, or that could get in the way of this opportunity, and this, and that. But in reality, child, if it's wrong, it's wrong. You know, if people disrespect you, they disrespected you, and you need to speak up about it. You know, you need to voice how that affected you, so that you can move forward with respect, and so that person can get the opportunity to show you that they're capable of respecting you in that manner. And so I never saw it in that perspective until my late adult years. Like, well, I'm still like really young, but in these adult years. And so it was really frustrating for me at the time. Like I said, I don't know who can relate to it. Hi, my loves. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. I don't know who exactly can relate to it, but baby, it's frustrating knowing that you can say something and not saying something. Knowing that you should say something and not saying something. Thank you so much for letting me over. That's so sweet. Because baby, it's hectic out here. What are y'all even doing? Just stop in traffic. Just stop in traffic. In the way. Lord. Okay, anyways. Hello, my love. Welcome to the chat. I lost my best friend. I'm so sorry about that, love. I'm so sorry. I wish you nothing but peace and wholeness and the grace to move forward. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys, pray for Dallas in the chat. They just lost their best friend. Pray for them, y'all. Pray for their peace and their sanity, and their independence. Pray for their independence to stand alone, friend is there or not, so that they can push forward with power, And I pray that you, have nothing but good memories about your friend, and that they carry you through the time, and that you don't idolize them. In Jesus' name, amen. But you guys, I was someone who I would be able to speak up for my best friend. Like, I would be able to speak up for my mom. Like, literally, my mom, I'm not gonna tell my mom's business, but I was able to stand up for my mom. I was able to stand up for this person and that person. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to me, I would always just be like, I would take a minute, unless it was like, in every case, honey. So I had to realize that was disrespecting me, not saying anything. And I took the whole, vengeance is the Lord to a whole nother level when it came to that. I didn't understand what it actually meant in fullness. Like, yes, there are times God will call you to be silent. God will call you to, just let him, see what he can do, even if you don't speak up. Because I've seen that. Trust me. I've seen that. But it's just, there's a place and a time for everything. And it's important for you to have that wisdom and that understanding, that knowledge, to move forward and speak on what, step up and speak on what needs to be spoke up about. Like, literally, you can miss opportunities that God is bringing into your life because you didn't speak up, or because you didn't move. You could literally mess up your own self-worth about yourself because you're not standing up and speaking up for yourself. That's what happened to me, because in my relationships I wasn't saying what needed to be said and standing on it, or I wasn't saying anything at all. Like, I'm not even talking about lover relationships. I'm talking about friendships, family situations, all that. Like, I wasn't speaking up about how I felt. People made me feel. Those certain people made me feel. I was just kind of letting situations linger, or when they act like nothing happened, I would just kind of, suck up my feelings and just be like, okay, I guess I gotta act like it never happened also. And that would do nothing for me. That would do absolutely nothing positive for me, but have me in my head going about over and over again thinking, okay, do these people really care about me? Do they actually love me? Are they talking about me? Oh, are this and that and this and that? Do they think this about me? When in reality, you could have just spoken up and say what's necessary to be said, and however someone takes it. Because me, I know from a point of view of how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to be respectful to others. So that's not going to be the case for me. I'm not going to just be cussing people out and thinking I'm right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come to people with respect. Especially if you're having a conversation about respect. Like, let's make it make sense. So go to people and speak, sit down and be mature. That's the most mature thing that you can do, is to say what is true from your own mind, to say what is true and clear up whatever the nonsense is. Because 9 times out of 10, it can be a false statement that has lingered in your mind, that has grown legs of its own. Or it could literally be facts. It could literally be facts. And you can feel when someone is full of it. So while you're talking to them, you can feel if someone's full of it. So you'll know that. You'll be able to know if they're genuinely apologetic or genuinely, didn't mean it that way and want to make it better. You'll be able to know where you stand with people, is basically what I'm saying. You'll be able to know where you stand with you, where you stand with anyone else. It just builds rapport in such a bold way that you don't have to question anything. You don't have to look back at situations and be like, dang, I should have said this, or dang, I shouldn't have let that happen, or dang, I should have blah, 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 blah. So when stuff does just happen and it just like, caught you off guard, it caught you off guard. You didn't have a chance to do something about it and decided not to. And now you're regretting it. Like literally, you are, standing where you need to stand, and that's just that on that. You said what you said. You know what I'm saying? And you either got the respect that you needed, or that you requested or require, or you know what boundaries to put up. And that's another thing. If you don't speak up for yourself, if you don't speak up when it's necessary, you are not setting any type of boundaries. You're just telling people nothing. And when you tell people nothing about how to treat you, they just go off of what they want to do, whether that's good or bad. You got to create boundaries. You got to create an understanding. That's why when I go into friendships, it might be intense to some people. I don't really care. I mean, you're not for me. If you think that it's intense for me to, as we're having conversation, tell you what my intent is as a friend and what I expect as a friend, that's crazy to me. I'm not about to just be Russian rouletting through the rest of my life. Yeah, you're going to grow organically. Time is right, and it's time to y'all starting to have those conversations, that go a little bit deeper. Yeah, let me let you know, because I'm not trying to waste my time, and I'm definitely not trying to waste your time. So it's like, let's be adults about this. Let's be mature about this. Let's, make it make sense, because hearts and minds and feelings are involved in this. So let's not act like that's not a fact. But it's just so much that I have learned throughout years, just about how you are really like betraying yourself. You're doing yourself a huge disservice when you allow people to constantly disrespect you. And it's easy to be like, I'm gonna let it roll off my back. But it's just like, should you? Should you though? Like, who told you that was necessary? Like, is that what God is saying? Or is God keep allowing these things to happen to you because he's trying to show you, hey, you ain't got to get all gully. You ain't got to be all reality TV show with it. But you can speak up. You can say something like, hey, I didn't like the way that you said that. Or what did you mean by that? Or, whoa, like, is that a dig? Or, hey, are you saying, or I don't handle my friends like that. Is that how you handle your friends? Or was that just an accident or something that you felt like you could do? Like, you need to talk to people and like be like, I'm not with that, or okay, that's cool, whatever. You need to let people know like where they stand with you so you can know where you stand with them. Period. Because there's so many people just faking it, just faking the phone, just faking, and literally with faking, I cannot stand, for the life of me, I cannot stand a fake situation, a fake person, a fake conversation. I cannot. Like, I would rather just not talk to you.